Hey, Rachel. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Thursday and welcome back to Oregon. Yeah.
Yes, thank
Yeah. And
you.
Rachel, first of all, I want to apologize for ghosting you last Thursday. I mean, it totally, my excuse is I, I was on my way to the OMA conference in San Diego, and I spaced it. I totally spaced it.
A
So
pretty good excuse.
please forgive me. But I didn't tell anybody. I was like, I don't know what.
Right.
Anyway, here I am being human. So I apologize and thank you for your grace. But
Yes,
yeah, we're back. We're back in Oregon. You're back in Oregon. Yeah.
I
How does
made
it
it.
feel to be back?
Every day's a different day. Yesterday, it felt bad to be back in Oregon. Felt real bad. See, look. Okay, I didn't know I was going to do that, but that was amazing.
So you went. That's
Because that's
awesome.
literally what happened to me yesterday.
Oh
But
yeah.
today I'm feeling good about it. Let's see what happens when I do two thumbs up. Today I'm feeling great. It's sunny. Yeah.
What happened yesterday, Rachel?
Well, yesterday I decided to do a little walk jog, I'm trying to get a little bit. I've been walking for quite a while, trying to recover from some injuries. And now I'm like, okay, can I do a little jogging? My goal is not to get back to some of the long distance runs I was doing, but just a little jog. It feels good. I love that brisk little jog. I'm using it as a HIIT interval training. We can talk more about that later. So I was doing intervals and went outside and it was sunny out. Thought it was my window, thought I was safe. I wasn't. Got stuck in a hailstorm, rainstorm, windstorm, almost drowned, but I survived. And I was very proud of myself when I got back. Like I did
Good
it.
for you.
Not that I chose it, right? That would have even been more proud. But hey, I did it. I had no choice. I had to get home, so I had to go. So, but such is the life of a springtime outdoor in Oregon.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm glad you're bringing this up because it is springtime and we want to be outside more and moving our bodies more outside. And it's just so beneficial. Exercise outside, so beneficial. I just recently changed up my routine. I took it from inside to outside. I'm going to be honest, Rachel, there was a little bit of kinetic energy that I had to overcome. Is that what you call it? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Yes. I mean, it's cold in the morning, Rachel. It's cold.
It is. And it's usually kind of dreary, kind of foggy. The sun
Mhm.
isn't always welcoming us outside first thing in the
Right.
morning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I tell you what was a game changer for me was when I was in San Diego. It's a little warmer there.
Mm-hmm. A
We've
little
got
sunnier.
a little bit more sunshine down there in San Diego. And so I'm like, I'm here. I can go outside in the morning and it feels great.
Yeah.
And so it was awesome. Every morning I got up and I have to tell you something. And I think we need to talk about this, Rachel.
Okay.
Some of the stories we tell ourselves around exercise because,
Yeah.
well, I was staying at this beautiful place that had this hotel had a huge, I mean, Rachel, I have stayed at Motel 6 where they have one, maybe one, I don't know, dinosaur of a treadmill, and it goes screech, screech, screech.
And
This
you're
was
like,
not that. This was top of the line. I mean, they had I don't know, 20 treadmills, Pelotons,
wow.
recumbent bikes, all kinds of free weights, and I mean, it was beautiful. It was packed. The place was packed at 6 o'clock in the morning, you
Wow.
know, and you know what? I'm going to admit something. I felt a little intimidated.
Mm.
Mhm. Am
What
I?
happened? What was the feeling?
I had comparanoia.
Mm.
Rachel.
That's a great term, by
Comparanoia.
the way. Comparanoia. That's a
Comparanoia.
great term.
Yeah, that's my new portmanteau. I just learned that. I just learned it today. My comparanoia. Yeah. Am I running as fast as the person is next to me? You know, am I spinning as fast as the person next to me? Am I doing my lift properly? You know, right? Or in the right place? I mean, it was pretty intimidating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so what? We learned this last night, and in our DBT book. The difference between a primary and a secondary emotion. So we can tie this in because it's the stories and what happens. So your primary emotion what was the very first thing you felt? Like the primal kind of emotion, not the deeper, embarrassment or comparison. What did you notice like first happened when you opened the door and you looked in? You were
afraid. I think I was afraid.
Okay, afraid. Okay. That's a primary emotion. It's reactive. It happens. We can't really control it. And it's based on circumstances we can't control, right? You didn't know that was going to happen. Yeah. You open the door, didn't expect it, right? And that's a primary emotion. Now, if we build mindfulness to manage a primary emotion and stay there, grab it, hold on to it, identify and work with it alone, we have the ability for emotional regulation. But what happens is our secondary emotions follow very quickly. Yeah. So fear turned into?
Yes. Self-consciousness, I guess, just being just so super like self-conscious, comparison. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which has now become judgment.
Yes.
All the judgment, all the inner critic voice.
Right.
Am I doing this like they are? Am I good enough? Should I even be in here? Do I know what I'm doing? Do I belong? What am I even thinking? I should go. Should I leave? Right? These are all.
Rachel, were you there with me? Were you?
I know.
You like?
No, the timing of this conversation.
I made myself stay for 10 minutes. To use the free weights that were available, because I'm telling you, it was, elbow room there.
Right.
Yeah. And then, so I worked through that. I told myself the truth. I am so glad that we're talking about this, because if you can stay and just that call it by its name, invite it in, sit with it, rather than let it go down the rabbit trail. Yeah. Then, who knows? I could have probably stayed there for my whole workout time. I did have a helpful second, second place winner, which is I took myself outside and enjoyed a beautiful walk in the fresh air, in the morning light, and looking at the beautiful bay.
Absolutely.
San Diego Bay, or whatever it's called right there. But it was.
It sounds like, because you're practiced in this emotional regulation, we talk a lot about this. You've read a lot of books, you work, like this isn't brand new. Mindfulness is not brand new to you. You've been practicing this for a very long time. Yeah. You had some skills readily available to bring you brought in wise mind that helped you kind of navigate the waters and go, okay, well, what do I really want to do? You decided to challenge yourself. That was a choice you made. I'm going to challenge myself to, just give it 10 minutes, Julie, just 10 minutes. And there was a reason you did that. You haven't explained that yet, but like there were probably inner reasons that you wanted to do that. And then you had this beautiful idea. Outside could actually be, what if outside was better? What if I don't need to fight my way through the gym? What if I'm outside and that's even better? Yeah. So then you came up with a plan that worked for you and worked with the situation and with the emotions you were feeling. You didn't fight your feelings. You didn't run away or freeze and just give up. You didn't walk back to your hotel room.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Lillian's jumping in here. She's like, comparanoia. And thinking, are people judging me? Right. Yeah. So I wanted to talk more about these stories that we tell ourselves around exercise, whether it's at a gym or in the privacy of our own home, or, what, what are some of the stories that come up in coaching over and over again with me over and over again? I think one of the number one stories is that I don't have time.
Yeah.
I don't have time to exercise.
Mhm.
What do we think about that?
That's a tricky one because it's the number one. It's either I don't have time or I don't have energy. Or
Oh,
I
there you go. Yeah.
don't feel like. Those are the two probably top contenders.
Right.
And they kind of go together. If you felt like
Mm,
you had time, you probably would have the energy, but
right.
they feed off of each other. Yeah, which one came first, chicken or egg? But that in itself is a judgment. Um,
Mm,
it's a
mm,
self judgment
yeah.
that may or may not be actually true,
Right. Yeah.
right? It's a self judgment. And we can get curious about just the statement, I don't have time, is very closed minded. It puts you in a box, and the brain says, you're out of time. Literally, your brain starts to believe this. That's almost like a scary survival thing. Oh my gosh, you have no time. What?
Mhm,
How are we going to even do? Is it true? I
mhm,
have no time. I don't have any time.
mm.
Is it
Yeah.
true?
Well, I mean, no. I mean, I have 24 hours in my day. That's what I have.
How am I spending my
Yeah,
time?
that's the better question, isn't it?
Right.
That's the stepping back,
Mhm.
taking the 10,000, foot view
Yeah.
or whatever you call that.
It's the kinder question, really, because if I have no time, I'm a failure, I'm a loser, I'll never get anywhere, I'll never get healthier. If I
Mhm,
have
mhm.
time, but I'm spending it in other ways, well, then that puts me back in the driver's seat. I'm back in control. I can choose to continue to spend the way, whoops, go
No,
away.
I'll give you a thumbs up on that. I'll give you a thumbs up.
If I can continue to spend my time doing the things that I'm choosing to do, that's my choice, and I'm
Mhm,
choosing it over exercise.
mhm.
Would I like to reevaluate my schedule, take some things off my calendar, shuffle some things around? Could I scroll my phone 20 minutes less a day to build, to create time? I could, but it suddenly takes it out of it's like when we say things like, I'm terrible at math, the brain
Mm,
shuts off any possibility
mm.
of learning and getting a little better at math.
Right,
Or what if
right,
you're better than you thought you were?
right.
So I feel like I don't have time,
Mm,
or I spend my time doing all these other things
mhm,
is a kinder way to
mhm.
approach it without, because I have no time becomes an emotional judgment.
Right. Yeah. Right. Right. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy then too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If I had time, what would it look like?
Right. Yeah.
What could
Yes.
it
What,
look like?
yeah. What could it
Mm,
look like if yeah, asking yourself a different question, or
mm,
maybe and saying your statement or describing your situation in a different way,
mhm.
right, is so important to help with change. Yeah.
Right. And that
Mhm.
story is an old story. It's
Mhm.
based on some truth, sure. It feels like there's just not enough time in the day to do the things we do, but it also is an old story that
Mhm.
we started telling ourselves for a reason. And each person would be a different reason um,
Yeah.
why we
Mhm.
default to that.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah.
You know, yeah, there's reasons we all say that, and
Right.
sometimes evaluating and asking the harder questions takes time in itself,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
it's like a lot of the habits you and I have talked about where we want to do this thing, but we can't just start. We have to
Mhm.
back up and reverse engineer. And
Right.
that takes
Yeah.
observing goals, thinking goals, planning goals,
Mhm.
way before doing goals.
Mhm. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into making a change, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess some of us can just get up and do something, but most of us have to really think about starting or stopping and how does that impact my life? And yeah, what is it going to take? And can I do this? Um, and asking ourselves that question, like when did I start believing, or when did I start believing that I don't have time?
Yeah. That's
Because
a great way of looking
thinking
at
back to a
it.
time in your life that you were exercising on a
Mm.
regular basis. and how are things different, and just being that observer of
Yes.
yourself,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
When we look back at past successes, it's a key in health coaching. It's one of the number one questions we try to ask is, well, what's your experience with this, or when were you last successful? Or in what way have you been successful at this in some way in your past? Most of
Right.
the times people can look back, especially with exercise, even if they have to go all the way back to high school.
Mm.
As they start to discuss it, they realize, oh, when I was in high school, I got up early and exercised before school, or I had to train before school, or whatever. And while that may or may not work for their schedule now, they start to get curious about the different things they've done in their life. And, oh, yeah, I used to ride my bike to and from work. Oh, I forgot. People forget about the things that they've done. And when
Right.
you bring up your own successes, you tap into a resource that I can't give you. I can't
Mm.
design for you. Only you know what it was like for you to do this thing and how you did it. And now you can tap into your own inner strengths, your own
Right.
inner past successes.
Yeah. So good. Yeah, that's good. What's another one? What's another kind of narrative or story that
Mhm.
we kind of hold on to very tightly? A fixed belief around exercise that you run into.
Yeah, probably another one of the really top ones that most people feel at some point is it's kind of an all or nothing black and white mindset that I have
Yeah.
to go big or go home.
Right.
5 minutes doesn't make any difference. If I
Right.
can't do the 30 minutes, or if
Mhm.
I can't get 10,000 steps, we have these markers in our heads of things we've heard.
Right. Yeah.
If I can't hit that,
Yeah.
what's the point of even, and I know I can't hit that. So then what's the point
Right.
of even trying?
What's the point? Yeah, and so we absorb these cultural norms or narratives, or what our doctor said, or what some studies showed, or um, yeah, and as this blanket statement, uh, like the 10,000 steps. Where did that even come from?
I
10,000
think it
steps.
actually came from a study in China,
Oh,
and I don't remember what they were looking for, but they found that 10,000 steps was good for one thing, but then all of a sudden the media takes it, like with any study, they take it and they blow it up as,
right.
this is the new guideline for everyone. No, no, no,
Yeah.
no. That was
Right.
not. It was particular to the study cohort.
Yes. Yes. And actually, what study after study after study after study after research shows that any amount of movement during the day is a win.
Yeah.
It's a win.
How do we
Yeah.
get that message across, right?
Yeah. That is so important, that to break away from that all or none thinking,
Mhm.
nuance it out. And
Mhm.
even there are studies that show that movement throughout the day might even be as good or better than the 30 minutes that you got in your day. And then if you sat right back down for the rest of your day, right?
Right,
Mhm.
right. If you're powering it out for 30 minutes or an hour, but then the other, 23 hours of the day, you're basically sedentary.
Right.
Yeah, it's not looking so good, for your joints, for your metabolism, for
Mhm.
your mobility, for that
Yeah,
that sedentariness,
for your mental health,
for mental health.
for your brain function.
Mhm.
The number one thing that we can do to keep our cognitive ability going for the life of our body is moving our body. Isn't that
Isn't it?
amazing?
I know. I'm regularly surprised and transfixed by this because it seems so counterintuitive. Like, doesn't
Mhm.
moving my body has nothing to do with my brain, it feels
Right,
like, right? They
right.
don't feel connected, but it's proving, we know it now. The research is there. The impact, the effects of movement on people's mental health is profound,
Mhm.
profound.
Yeah, I mean, better than any kind of medication,
Yeah.
that we can come up with, especially with cognitive, my thinking process, my memory, my
Right.
ability to learn new things. All of
Yeah.
those are tied into how I move my body, and that
Yes.
it doesn't take much education, right? It just takes a walk outside, and
Mhm.
yeah. So
And just getting started, back to those steps, we know now that it's any number of steps more than what you're stepping right now
mhm.
has there's that J curve, right? There's the biggest amount of benefit and result. And actually, once people get to 6,000 or 7,000 steps, the benefits kind of peter out.
Mhm.
Biggest, so I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and this exercise scientist, she was saying, if it's, 10,000 steps is like 4 to 6 miles for somebody, right? How many hours does it take you to get that many steps in a day? If you were to go out and just do it, right? Probably a couple hours. She's like, I would rather people get their movement, move until they get to 6,000 steps, and then take the time they would have taken to get from 6 to 10 and go do some weight training or
Oh,
some
yeah.
Pilates or some yoga. Don't
Right.
get to 10,000 steps. You're wasting your time. If you're not doing any other movement, if you're only walking,
Mhm.
you're missing. Good job getting 10,000, but what
Yeah.
if you took some of that time and put it
Right.
somewhere else?
Yeah, what a great idea, because there's more than one kind of movement, right? There's aerobic
Mhm.
movement where I'm walking or biking or jogging, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's aerobic, and that has purposes, and it improves my blood pressure, and it gets my blood flowing, and it improves lymph flow, and good for mental health, especially if I'm doing this outside. I mean, so it has its utility
Yeah.
for overall health. And then there's this resistance training, and that has a different function and purpose
Right.
and usefulness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really helps maintain the muscle mass
Mhm.
as we get over. And again, muscle is the organ of longevity. I probably mentioned this before, but it's worth mentioning again.
Say it again.
Okay. When we exercise our muscles to the point of a little bit of strain, that we're against resistance, we're creating, or even with walking, you're creating lactic acid, and that lactic acid crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it serves as a precursor for a compound called BDNF. BDNF, that's brain-derived neurotropic factor. That's a compound that helps your brain make new brain cells.
Ooh. We need that. Sounds important.
Yeah, we need that.
Like, I want some of that. More of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So moving your body helps your brain. It just helps your brain.
Oftentimes when I'm moving so that I can build value into it and tell myself a new story is, I'm not doing this to lose weight. I'm not doing this to look better. I'm doing this to feel better. I'm doing this for my mental health. And for me, I like to picture all these little like supporting actors in my body, the BDNF molecule. They're like, we're doing this, and my mitochondria and my telomeres and, my gut microbiome, she's moving. Everybody, let's repair, like everybody's in there going, yay.
Yeah.
And it feels motivating to know I know I'm doing it because I know how I feel. I know it works because I've seen results in myself and other people. And I know what science tells me is happening inside that I can't see, but I trust. And I also know because I feel the results after. So to think about using my movement for those purposes,
right,
rather than feeling like I should lose some weight because I went for a walk today, or my blood pressure better be fixed because I'm like looking for this, like this, I did this, so therefore I should get this. As it pertains to weight and blood.
Yeah, broadening, deepening the why. Yeah. Gives you so much more resolve to keep doing it, to stay committed, to enjoy it even. So
right.
So those are two of the big ones. I don't have time, or I don't have energy. And then if 5 minutes doesn't do anything. So those are good ones. There are a few more that we could address, and I'd like to, maybe we can come back to this next week and address those. And so, but I wanted to hear from you, Rachel, now that you're back home in your own kitchen with all your kitchen utensils and goodies, and what have you been preparing in your now?
What's funny about this is I actually miss my small, minimalistic, restricted kitchen. I actually, isn't that crazy? And here's why. In my kitchen, I have so many options. I could make something in the crock pot or the Instant Pot or the air fryer. Oh, which one do I do? I don't know. Right? I could make I could make a soup or a salad or right? It's too many options. And I'm like, I'm frozen in the decision. But in my small little kitchen, I had such, I could only buy enough groceries for like 3 or 4 days at a time. So
Yeah.
I had to meal plan because we couldn't just like go on the fly. So I'm trying to take what I learn and apply it
Oh,
here at home and
oh,
trying to
good for you.
capture some of that. I'm tempted to go back to all the old recipes I was doing, but I think what I want to do is work back through my Zoe book
Mm.
and remake all of the recipes again, because we pretty much
Oh.
just hit them once.
Yeah.
Because it was teaching me something about that kind of cooking.
Mhm.
And interestingly enough, the Zoe cookbook aligned with my small kitchen because most recipes were for 2 to 4 people, but mostly 2 people, which is strange. Most recipes don't just serve 2.
Right.
And that's kind of all we really had the room or the space. We couldn't cook a lot of leftover type stuff.
Yeah.
So that said, I haven't had a big old salad in a while. I need to make my base salad and have, because I did keep that in Arizona. I did keep a base salad in the fridge most of the time. And I just grew some brand new broccoli sprouts. They're fresh and ready today. They're huge. So
Right.
I'm excited for just a big salad with sprouts.
That
Yeah.
sounds lovely. Yes. Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. Well, I was reintroduced to Full Plate, which is a nonprofit organization which really helps people move away from ultra processed foods to whole foods.
Yeah.
And I've just kind of been enjoying putting their concept onto my plate. And their concept is 25% of your plate is maybe your protein that doesn't have fiber or water in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's your chicken, fish, eggs, etc. Whole free range. What's my
Grass-fed
free range wild?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And then the rest of the plate has water and fiber in it. And of course, we know what has water and fiber in it. Vegetables, right.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe grains that you added water to, right? Or legumes that you added water to. They all have water and fiber and beautiful fruit. So it's been kind of fun to design my plate like that. And then so I really went ahead and did my base salad. Interestingly, the goji berries that I do put on in my base salad sometimes, they would go into that 25% because they've been dried. Yeah. There's no sugar added to those goji berries. They still have fiber, but there's no water in them. So
interesting.
Yeah. So everything else on the plate has water and fiber.
So if the goji berries were rehydrated, like if you did an overnight oats and you put them in there, then that would go back. Okay, interesting. What a great way to think about. Yeah. Does the food
sunflower seeds are in the 25%. Yeah. So it is interesting because, I think their point is that for the fiber to work beautifully, it needs water to go with it. So, and of course, water plus fiber, and then your protein. Of course, your protein can have water and fiber if it's lentils or tofu.
Right.
Then you're going to just feel full and satisfied. Yeah.
And hydrated.
And it is different than drinking along. When the water is in the food, when the fiber is in the food, when the fat stays in the food.
Yes.
It's different.
It's different than just putting it on top.
Right.
So good. Yeah. What a great point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We got to think. Yeah. Is everybody thinking? Is everybody's wheels kind of?
Yeah. See?
So I hope this is bringing curiosity, right? Rather than any judgment or criticism or you're thinking, oh no, my plate's a disaster. Think, what small step could I, based on what they're talking about, what could tweak a little bit?
Right.
Right. How could I add a little more fiber and water and
Mhm.
think about my plate and how I'm dividing some things up and add more of something.
Mm,
Yeah.
so good.
Yum.
All right. Well, this has been great conversation, and we will
Yes.
keep it going.
We'll keep it
So,
going. Next week, we'll talk more about
yeah,
exercise.
enjoy your time outside.
Yes. Get out there, everybody. All right. Take care.
Bye bye.